What if I told you that humanity's greatest inventions aren't machines or empires, but ideas? Invisible, fragile, and yet powerful enough to move civilizations, to inspire revolutions, to change the way we see ourselves. The most beautiful ideas we've ever had are not carved in stone or written in code. They live inside us, shaping our thoughts, our hopes, our destinies. But what makes an idea beautiful? Is it its truth, its usefulness, or its power to make us feel alive? Perhaps it's something deeper, a glimpse of the infinite in the finite, a reflection of our longing for meaning in a universe that often feels indifferent. Every era of human history has been guided by such ideas. They have built temples and toppled kings, healed hearts and broken them too. But through it all, one truth remains. It is ideas, not things, that have kept us going. They are the fire that refuses to die, passed from one mind to another, across generations and time. Let's explore them, the most beautiful ideas humanity ever had, and what they reveal about who we truly are. One of the earliest and most enduring is the idea of the soul, the belief that there is something within us that cannot be destroyed. Long before science, people looked at the stars and felt that life must be more than matter. They sensed that behind the eyes, behind the thoughts, there was something eternal. The Egyptians called it the Ka, the Greeks called it the Psyche, and the Hindus called it Atman. Each culture gave it a name, but all pointed toward the same mystery, that consciousness might outlive the body. Whether or not it's true, the idea itself has shaped how we live. It gives death meaning, it gives suffering purpose, it gives love depth. The idea of the soul is not a scientific fact, it's a poetic truth that makes life bearable. Then came the idea of justice, the notion that the universe, or at least our societies, should reflect fairness, balance, and moral order. From Hammurabi's Code to the philosophy of Plato, humanity has wrestled with what it means to live rightly. Justice is not an invention of law. It's a dream of the human heart. We invented it because we longed for something better than chaos. And every movement toward equality, every fight for freedom, every revolution has been driven by the belief that life should be fair, even if it rarely is. Justice is not just a rule, it's an act of hope. Then there's the idea of love, not just romantic love, but love as a force that transcends the individual. Love that binds strangers, heals enemies, inspires art and sacrifice. In every religion, every poem, every song, love is the heartbeat of meaning. It's what gives warmth to truth and soul to reason. Without love, our greatest ideas turn cold. Logic becomes cruelty, freedom becomes loneliness, and knowledge becomes arrogance. Love reminds us that intellect alone cannot save us. The beauty of this idea lies not in its perfection, but in its persistence. Even in the darkest ages, people kept believing in love, even when it hurt. Another beautiful idea is that of progress, the belief that humanity can improve, that tomorrow can be better than today. It's a fragile idea, often tested by war, suffering, and disappointment. But without it, we would never build, never create, never learn. From the Renaissance to the Enlightenment, progress became the religion of modern man. It told us that knowledge could free us, that reason could overcome superstition, that the human mind could shape its own destiny. And yet, progress has a shadow. It can make us arrogant, blind to the costs of our ambition. But still, the idea that we can grow, that we can evolve, is one of the most hopeful ideas we've ever had. Then comes freedom. No idea has inspired more courage or more conflict. From the Stoics, who found freedom within the mind, to revolutionaries who demanded it from tyrants, freedom has always been the sacred dream of humanity. To live without chains, to speak one's truth, to choose one's path. This is the fire that burns in every heart. Yet freedom, too, is not absolute. It demands responsibility, wisdom, and restraint. When freedom becomes license, it destroys itself. But when held with reverence, it becomes divine. the recognition that every human being carries within them the right to shape their own existence. And then there's truth, the idea that reality can be known, that the universe has order, that honesty matters. From Socrates to Galileo to modern thinkers, truth has been the light we chase, even when it blinds us. It's the idea that there's something greater than opinion, greater than comfort, something that simply is. And yet, truth can be dangerous. It destroys illusions, it wounds pride, it demands courage. Many have died for it, and many more have run from it. But the beauty of truth lies in its purity. It doesn't need us to believe in it to exist. To seek it, even imperfectly, is to honor the best part of ourselves. But perhaps the most mysterious idea of all is meaning, the belief that life itself has a purpose. From ancient myths to existential philosophy, humanity has searched for the why. Some found it in gods, others in art, others in love or reason. Meaning is not given, it's created. We craft it out of chaos, out of pain, out of fleeting joy. And even when we doubt it, we can't live without it. Meaning is the invisible thread that ties all other ideas together. What unites all these ideas? The soul, justice, love, progress, freedom, truth, meaning, is that they are not facts to be proven, but visions to be lived. They exist not in laboratories or temples, but in the human heart. They are the poetry of existence, the architecture of hope. Each one carries within it both light and shadow, truth and illusion, beauty and danger. They remind us that to be human is to dream beyond what we can see, to imagine worlds that may never exist, and yet still strive to make them real. But as time moves on, these ideas evolve. They are challenged, questioned, and reinterpreted. What we once called the soul becomes consciousness. What we once called justice becomes equality. What we once called love becomes empathy. Ideas never die, they transform. They adapt to the age that needs them most. And that, perhaps, is the most beautiful idea of all, that humanity's greatest treasures are not physical, but conceptual, not things we hold, but truths we chase. Every great idea begins as a spark, fragile, uncertain, almost invisible. But when that spark catches fire, it reshapes the world. The most beautiful ideas humanity ever had did not come from comfort. They came from struggle, doubt, and a longing to transcend what we are. Hope, love, justice, truth, these are not just words. They are attempts to make sense of a chaotic universe, to find patterns in pain, and to see light even when surrounded by darkness. Consider the idea of hope. It's both fragile and indestructible. Humanity has always built its greatest achievements on hope that defied reason. When everything seemed lost, people still believed in a dawn they might never see. The abolition of slavery, the fight for equality, the quest for knowledge, all were acts of defiant hope. Hope doesn't guarantee success, but it makes endurance possible. It's the fire that keeps the human spirit alive through the coldest nights. Then there is love, perhaps the most misunderstood of all ideas. Philosophers, poets, and mystics have tried for centuries to define it, and yet it slips through every definition. Love is not just romance or affection, it is recognition. It's seeing yourself in another being, realizing that the separation between I and you is only temporary. From Plato's notion of divine madness to Jung's concept of the anima and animus, love has always been the bridge between the visible and the invisible. It reminds us that beauty is not meant to be possessed, but shared. Another idea that shaped humanity is the truth. Simple in theory, unbearable in practice. The pursuit of truth has led to revolutions, both scientific and spiritual. From Socrates to Galileo, from the Buddha to Descartes, truth seekers have risked their lives to see beyond illusion. But truth is not a static treasure to be found. It's a living process. Every generation must rediscover it, redefine it, and protect it from the comforting lies that tempt the human mind. And what about freedom? Freedom is more than political independence. It's the liberation of the soul from fear, ignorance, and conformity. The Stoics taught that true freedom lies in mastering oneself. The existentialists later echoed that freedom is terrifying because it comes with responsibility. Yet, without it, there is no authenticity. Freedom is the price we pay for consciousness. To be truly alive means to bear the weight of choice and the uncertainty it brings. Then there's beauty, the most mysterious of all. Why do we find meaning in sunsets, music, or the stars? Why does something purely sensory feel sacred? Beauty is not luxury, it's a necessity. It reminds us that even in a universe ruled by chaos and decay, there exists order, harmony, and grace. Beauty doesn't fix the world. It awakens us to its potential. It whispers, there is more. And finally, there's wisdom, the synthesis of all these ideas. Wisdom is what remains when knowledge meets compassion. It's not about knowing everything. It's about seeing through illusions and acting with clarity. The wise person does not escape the world but embraces it fully, aware of both its pain and its wonder. Wisdom turns suffering into insight, fear into curiosity, and loss into depth. When we look at all these ideas together, hope, love, truth, freedom, beauty, wisdom, we see the fingerprints of something divine. Whether you believe in God, energy, or pure consciousness, the fact remains. Humanity has always reached for something higher than itself. These ideas are the steps of that eternal climb. They remind us that our greatest power is not our technology, not our wealth, but our imagination, the ability to envision what does not yet exist and then bring it to life. Every civilization has risen and fallen, but the ideas endure. The words of philosophers who died thousands of years ago still guide our minds today. The art, the poetry, the wisdom, they echo across centuries because they touch something timeless within us. And perhaps that's the real secret. The most beautiful ideas humanity ever had are not inventions. They are rediscoveries. They are glimpses of a truth we've always known, but keep forgetting. Maybe beauty, hope, and love are not just human concepts. They're universal languages, spoken by the soul before it learns to speak words. Maybe we don't create them. Maybe we remember them. And that's the wonder of it all. Every time you feel awe, compassion, or understanding, you are participating in something ancient and sacred, the same force that guided philosophers, mystics, and dreamers for thousands of years. So perhaps the greatest idea of all is not one we can name. It's the quiet realization that life itself is an unfolding masterpiece, a work of art painted in consciousness, emotion, and thought. The universe might be indifferent, but within us, there is a spark that insists on meaning. That spark is what makes us human. And as long as that spark burns, the story continues. Humanity will keep dreaming, searching, creating, turning pain into poetry and confusion into wisdom. Because the most beautiful ideas humanity ever had were born not from perfection, but from longing. They are the proof that even in darkness, we can imagine the light. So now, I'll ask you, what's the most beautiful idea you've ever encountered? Which thought, philosophy, or truth changed the way you see the world? Share it in the comments below. Let's see how far our collective imagination can go. And if this journey through humanity's most profound ideas moved you, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more explorations into the deep, mysterious world of thought and being.